Hey guys, I'm back. I hope you missed me. Sorry for the 6 month delay maybe on my social media recap, but I thought I'd kickstart things back off this year, I think. I don't think I've done one yet this year. Talking about Google and how Google can help grow your small business, local small business. And as you can see, I'm wearing a Google Plus t-shirt because I was at Google headquarters in California last week, Thursday and Friday, for their GIFA event. GIFA is Google's version or annual conference for the franchising industry. I went out there for my employer, Tide Smart Global, and with our vendor partner, Sprout Loud, and then also with our client, who is a national franchise system in the healthcare industry. So I thought I'd share some really cool statistics that Google told us at the conference about how they actually are more can better help and serve the local business owner than just the national. So I'm going to rattle off some statistics and tell you how those can help you. So Google is the #1 most searched website in the world. #1 most searched website. #2 is YouTube, which Google owns. So you say, okay, I have my business listed on Google. It used to be Google Places, now it's just Google or Google My Business. You should also have some content on YouTube too, because the #1 videos that are searched the most on YouTube are how-to videos. So if you can do a how-to video on how to use your product or your service, that you should definitely put some content on there. And remember, you don't need anything big and great lighting and editing, video editing, and a video photographer. Just grab your smartphone. As you can see, this one doesn't have great lighting. I get yelled at all the time for that, but it's just my computer at home, and I turn it on and right before I go to work and do it then. Google searches per day are 5 billion, which equals 70% of everybody on the planet. It means 70% of people in the world are doing Google searches. That's crazy. So I know some of you, especially some clients, will say, my customers are not searching for me online. Some of this information begs to differ. People check their phone 150 times per day, their smartphone, that is. So that's a huge opportunity for marketers to put their brand in front of their target consumer, whether it's a client or a prospect, with the right messaging at the right time, hopefully, so that they can interact with them. 70% of purchasing happens 20 miles from home or work. So when people are usually searching for a business online, they're searching for somebody within that 20-mile radius that's either on their way home from their commute or right 20 miles from work. So that's really important to remember. Keep that in mind. 70% of people have called a business for mobile search. So another great reason why you've got to list your business online. When you list your business online, make sure the correct address is in there, but also your phone number. Google said a lot of people actually want, even though they have all the information in there, maybe business hours, they actually want to call and talk to a person to ask about the product they might have, or if they have this on the shelf or anything like that. So make sure your right information is uploaded on Google, as well as Bing, Yahoo, and maybe throw in Yelp. But that's the #1 thing you should do when you start digital marketing for your business. Online business directories. And start small, and then once you get a few on there, Google, Bing, Yahoo, and I would do Yelp. Then come back to me, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up here, and say what are some other ones I should do now. 3 out of 4 people who find local information in search results, such as searching for a business within that 20-mile radius, are more likely to visit that store. Really key thing to remember. These are just some cool geeky things. 2/3 of the world's population has a mobile phone. So 2/3 of everybody in the world has a mobile phone. In India, more people have smartphones than they have indoor plumbing. Yeah, it's pretty important. And then the last thing was more on content, and I'm gonna wrap it up because I know I've been talking for a while. But the big takeaway that I took was that there is no magic pill to digital marketing, which I've been trying to preach to people for a long time. It's more about getting out there and testing and being creative. It's really cheap. It's not like running an ad in a magazine that costs you a lot of money. Just, put some content up there on Facebook or, Twitter, or maybe it's, putting an offer up there on your Google listing, and then experiment and see how that does. just, you got to get out there and try and experiment. Find where your target audience is. Don't put content out everywhere if your people don't live there. So try and find your niche and really target your content to your consumer and your prospect where they're already talking, and just listen to see what type of content they choose to interact with. And the last one, which was the biggest one for me, was Google posted a picture. It said with somebody wearing a t-shirt, and it said, "I am not my target audience." And that's huge to remember. I've run into that in the past when CEOs would be like, "Why did you put that? That's not good. Like, that doesn't make sense to me." And you're right, it doesn't. But you, a CEO, you're not my target audience. Maybe for you guys, a CEO is, but at the time, this wasn't relevant. So make sure you're writing content that's relevant to your target audience, not necessarily yourself or your C-suite or your boss or anybody else. That's all I got, guys. I'd love to hear what you think. You can search more content online from what Google shared with all of us. If you search